Our school, Michael Nagar Shikhaniketan, government sponsored co-ed English medium higher secondary, has taken an excellent initiative in conducting online classes through YouTube channel. Even in this pandemic situation, our school did not step aback in providing and enhancing knowledge to the students. So it's a request to the viewers, please like, comment and subscribe.
Today we will learn the unit 2.4, that is chemical effects of electricity. Okay. At the introduction of this chapter, first we have to study some terms related to this chapter like conductors, non-conductors, electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Okay. Then we can learn electrolysis. So let's start one by one. First, conductors. What are conductors? Conductors means those substances, those who can allow to pass electricity through them. Okay. Or the substance who can pass electricity, simple. So they are known as the conductors. We know that all metals are the example of conductors. Okay. Next we have non-conductors, that means who cannot allow to pass electricity through them. They are the non-conductors, or we can say them as very poor conductor of electricity, or we also can say them as insulators. Insulators is the term we use to mention those substances, those who cannot pass electricity. Okay. Insulators may be paper, wood, rubber, they are the examples of insulators or non-conductors. Next we have the term electrolytes. Electrolytes means those who can pass electricity obviously, but we have to take electrolytes in solution form. Okay. This is very important. We have to take them in solution form or in molten state. Okay, in molten state. Molten or fused, same meaning they have, molten or fused state or in solution state we have to take the electrolytes, because if we take an electrolyte in its solid state, it cannot conduct electricity, because electrolytes means they can conduct electricity producing ions. So first, ions are important, production or generation of ions, that is very important. So after production of ions, it can conduct electricity. If there is no ions, no electricity. Okay, no passing of electricity. So generation of ion is very important, and to generate or to produce the ions, we have to take them in fused state or in molten state or in solution state. Okay. Acids, all the acids more or less they are electrolytes, all the bases more or less electrolytes, and salts are electrolytes. Examples of electrolytes like KCl, NaCl, Na2SO4, K2SO4, they are the examples of base salts who can conduct electricity. That means they are electrolytes. Obviously, they have to take into solution form or into fused form. Okay, not the solid form. Bases like NaOH, like KOH, like CaOH whole 2, like NH4OH, all of them are the examples of bases as well as they are electrolytes. Okay. And acids like HCl, like H2SO4, like HNO3, like CH3COOH, okay, they are the examples of acids as well as electrolytes. So this is about electrolytes, and there are some substance which can be converted into liquid state, but they cannot form any kind of ions, and that is why they are not the examples of electrolytes, like wax, like ghee or butter. Okay. If we keep them within refrigerator, we can see that they has been converted into solid state, but if we apply heat over them, we can see that wax is melted, ghee or butter both can be melted, but they cannot produce any kinds of ions. So that is why they are not the examples of electrolytes. As well as there are other solids materials like sugar, okay, like glucose. We can make them into solution form. Okay, if we take 1 spoon of sugar into a glass of water, and if we stir the mixture, it will form sugar solution. But the sugar solution is not an example of electrolytes, because sugar solution cannot produce any kind of ions, and without ion the passing or conduction of electricity is not possible. So that is why they are not the example of electrolytes. Next we have non-electrolytes. Non-electrolyte means those who cannot conduct electricity. That means we can say sugar solution is an example of non-electrolytes, or glucose solution is the example of non-electrolytes, or we can say that molten wax, molten ghee, molten butter, all of them are the example of the non-electrolytes. Okay. So this is the preliminary things about this chapter. Now we can study about the process of electrolysis. Electrolysis means this is a process, or this is a phenomena where we can apply electric energy and chemical changes will found to be occurred. Okay. So if we apply electric energy, we can see chemical changes. So this whole phenomena, the whole incident is known as electrolysis. So what we need to make a electrolysis process or to conduct electrolysis process, first of all we need a container where the process is to be carried out. So that container is known as voltmeter, number 1. Number 2, we need an electrolyte. Okay. This electrolyte will, obviously this electrolyte is to be taken in its molten state or fused state or in solution state. This electrolyte will dissociate to form ions, okay, and that ions will conduct electricity. So we have to take an electrolyte. Next we need electrodes. Electrode means generally they are metal strips. Sometimes we use certain kind of non-metals like graphite. Okay, graphite is the only non-metal which can be used as the electrolyte, electrode. Otherwise generally we use metal strips at the electrodes. So we have two types of electrodes. Number 1 is cathode and number 2 is anode. Okay. So who is anode and who is cathode, we will see in the picture. First we have to take a container where the process is to be carried out, and this container is known as voltmeter. Then we have to take the electrolyte in its molten state or infused state or in solution state. So there will be the electrolyte. Next, within this electrolyte there will be metal strips, or sometimes we can use a non-metal strip to carry out the process, and the only non-metal we can use here, that is graphite. Okay? Otherwise we can use any kind of metal. So these are two metal strips, and they should be connected with any kind of they should be connected to the terminal of the battery. If it is connected to a positive terminal of the battery, then this electrode is known to be as anode. Okay? And if the terminal is connected to a negative terminal of a battery, then it should be known as the cathode. Okay? This is the symbol for cathode, because this is connected with the negative terminal, and this is the symbol of anode because this is connected to a positive terminal. Okay? So this is the whole arrangement for the process of electrolysis. Now what happens here? Suppose I have an electrolyte AB. Okay? So obviously I have to take it in its molten state. So this AB, after applying electricity, it will dissociate, and after dissociation it will form one cation and one anion. Suppose I have A plus and B minus. So the ion which is carrying positive charge, we know they are known as the cation, and the ion which is carrying negative charge, it is known as anion. So I have the electrolyte AB. In presence of electricity, it is dissociated and producing A plus B minus. That means one cation, another is anion. Now we know from this picture, as cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, so we can consider this electrode as the pillar of negative charge. Okay, cathode is nothing but the pillar of negative charge, and we know opposite charges attracted each other. So that is why all the positive charge, that means cations, they will be attracted towards the cathode. So all the A plus charges will move towards the cathode. So after moving towards the cathode, all the A plus will accept one electron. Okay. Why one electron? Because it is carrying only one positive charge. Okay. So that is why if it was dipositive, that means A2 plus, then it will accept 2 electrons. As it is monopositive or carrying one single electron, so that is why it will accept one single electron to form neutral A. Okay? This is neutral, having no charge. And what about B minus? You can see that B is carrying negative charges. This is anion, and the terminal to the positive terminal anode is connected. So that is why we can say anode is simple the pillar of positive charges. Cathode is simply the pillar of negative charges. That is why all the cations are moved towards cathode, and anode is simple the pillar of positive charges. So all the anions, they move towards the anode. So we have B minus as the anion. So all the B minus will move towards this electrode, that is anode, and after reaching there, B minus will lose its one extra electron. As you can see, B is carrying one negative charge, that means it has only one extra electron, and that will be lost in the anode. And after losing these electrons, it will form simple B, which is again neutral in nature. Okay, so this whole process is known as electrolysis. Electrolysis means simple, we have to take an electrolyte and in presence of electricity it will generate ions, two types of ions, cations and anions. All the cations will move towards the cathode and all the anions will move towards the anode. After reaching at the cathode, cations will accept one electron to make a neutral atom, and after reaching at the anode all the anions will reject one electron, one or more than one electron depending on its charge. It will also generate a simple neutral atom. Now if we consider some chemicals, if we consider some real compounds, then what will happen? Suppose we have water, okay, simple water H2O. But we know that simple normal water cannot conduct any kind of electricity, because electricity is only conducted through some electrolytes. Simple water or pure water is not an example of electrolyte. So, we have to add some acid or base or salt or any kind of electrolytes to make pure water electrolytes. Okay. So, if I add some kind of acid, then we can use it as electrolyte. Okay. Now, the arrangement will be same, because we have to take an voltmeter. Okay. This is the voltmeter, and here we have to take two metal strips. Generally electrodes are specific for some type of electrolysis. So, for the electrolysis of water, generally we use platinum electrode. Okay, we use here platinum electrode. Generally anode and cathode both are made up of platinum, and within this voltmeter as electrolyte we have to take acidified water. Acidified water, this is the electrolyte in this process. Now what happens here? All the water molecules will dissociate. Okay, in presence of electricity all the water molecules will dissociate to form what? H plus and OH minus ion. This is hydrogen ion and this is hydroxyl anion. Okay, negative charge, so this is hydroxyl anion and this is H plus cation. Okay. So next step e ki hobe? All the H plus will move towards the cathode and they will accept one electron and will form H atom. Okay, and if more than H atom produces in this process, then they will combine to form hydrogen gas. Okay, so from the cathode we can see the evolution of hydrogen gas. Okay, from the cathode we can see the evolution of hydrogen gas. And what will happen at the anode? At the anode all the hydroxyl anions will move towards the anode and they will reject one electron, forming the OH functional group, simple functional hydroxyl group OH. Okay, and in the next step such 4 OH will combine to form 2 molecules of water and oxygen gas. Okay. So, here also from the anode we can see the evolution of oxygen gas. From cathode we can see the evolution of hydrogen gas and from anode we can see the evolution of oxygen gas. Now, one more thing we have to concentrate, that is in cathode we can see the acceptance of electrons. Okay, in cathode always electrons are accepted by the cations. So, that is why we can say that at cathode always reduction process takes place. Okay, as you know that reduction means acceptance of electron or addition of electron. So, addition of electrons always are taking place in the cathode. So, we can say that reduction is taking place at the cathode always in case of electrolysis. And what happens at the anode? Always the rejection of electron. So, that is why we can say removal of electron, rejection of electron means oxidation process. So, at the anode always oxidation happens. Okay. So, we can conclude by saying this, that electrolysis is nothing but a simple oxidation reduction process. In short, we can say it as the redox process, and at cathode reduction takes place, at anode oxidation takes place. Okay. And one more thing about the electrolysis of water, that is we can see that in one molecule of water we have the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen into 2:1. Okay, in one molecule of water we have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is 2:1. So, if I see the gas collector as the volume, as the respect of volume, we can see that hydrogen has been produced into 2 parts and oxygen has been produced into 1 part. That means here also the production of hydrogen and oxygen will be what? That is 2:1. Okay, that will be also 2:1. So, this is all about the process known as electrolysis of water. We can also say it as the hydrolysis. Okay. Electrolysis of water is also known as the hydrolysis process. Now, according to our textbook, we have 3 chemicals or 3 compounds whose electrolysis process we have to study. Number 1 is NaCl, number 2 MgCl2 and number 3 CaCl2. Okay, what happens in case of NaCl? If I take NaCl, fused NaCl or molten NaCl or NaCl into its solution state, whatever it may be, then NaCl will found to dissociate forming Na plus and Cl minus. Okay. So, if we take NaCl in solution state or in fused state, so within the voltameter these are the 2 ions that will form. Now, what should be the electrode? Electrode we have to take here, we can use anode graphite, okay, graphite as anode and iron as cathode. Okay. So, what happens next in cathode reaction? In cathode, all the Na plus will move towards the cathode because Na plus means cation. So, in the cathode Na plus will accept 1 electron forming simple sodium metal. Okay. So, sodium as metal will start to deposit over the cathode. Cathode means here we have taken iron metal as the cathode. So, all the sodium metal will start to deposit over the iron, and at the anode what happens? All the Cl minus will move towards the anode and they will reject 1 electron in each step and they will form Cl atom first. Then 2 Cl atoms will combine to form 1 chlorine molecule. Okay, this is Cl2 molecule and it will found to be evolved from the anode. Okay. So, this is the picture of the electrolysis of NaCl. Now, if I take MgCl2, that is magnesium chloride as the electrolyte, fused magnesium chloride, then what happens? Magnesium 2 plus will found to be produced here because magnesium is di positive. So, per magnesium 2 plus ion we can see the formation of 2 Cl minus ion. because chlorine is mono negative, mono charged actually. So for 1 Mg2 plus ion we can see the formation of 2 Cl minus ions. Okay. And as the electrode we can use here also graphite as the anode and iron as the cathode. And what happens at the cathode and anode, here instead of sodium we can see that all the magnesium 2 plus ions are moving towards the cathode, and as magnesium is dipositive in nature, so it will accept 2 electrons. Okay. And it will form magnesium metal. We can see the deposition of magnesium metal over the cathode here, and as we can see that 2 Cl minus ions are generating here. So we can write it one step only, because 2 Cl minus, it will reject 2 electrons forming simple Cl2. Okay. You do not have to write this extra step here, or you can write like you have seen in the case of NaCl, whatever you like to do you can write, but the production of chlorine gas will be found here also like the case of NaCl. Okay. So at the cathode you can see the deposition of magnesium metal, and at the anode you can see the formation or the evolution of chlorine gas. Okay. And this is the picture of electrolysis of magnesium chloride. Next number we have calcium chloride. This is the same situation as we are seeing in the magnesium chloride. Calcium chloride is also dye positive in nature, so it will also found to generate Ca2 plus ions. Okay, calcium is also dye positive in nature, so it will also form Ca2 plus, and in this process we can also use graphite as anode and iron as cathode, same. And here in the cathode reaction we can see the formation of Ca2 plus, and all the Ca2 plus will move towards the cathode and they will reject 2 electrons as it is dye positive in nature. And at the cathode we can see the deposition of calcium metal. Okay. And at the anode reaction will be same, 2 Cl minus, it will reject 2 electrons to form chlorine gas, and we can see the evolution of chlorine gas from the anode. So this is the electrolysis of fused or molten calcium chloride by applying electricity.
Subscribe. Click on the bell. Like, comment, share.